Take a look at this picture. What math do you see here? I see a lot of tasty treats. Let's see those pretzel sticks. 3 for $1. I wonder how much each one would cost. Well, if we divide $1, which is 100 pennies, by 3, we get about 33 pennies per pretzel stick. We'd probably want to round up though, because if you add 33 plus 33 plus 33, you only get 99. So that would mean if you sold them individually, you'd lose a penny. Maybe charge 35 cents each. It looks like it's the cost of the mini muffins. I see the loaf cake is 50 cents a slice. 50 cents is half $1. So if you had $1, how many could you buy? That's right, 2. The cookies are 3 for $1 as well. I wonder if you could buy 2 cookies and 1 pretzel stick for $1 if you can't mix and match. If you had $2, what would you buy? If you had $2, how many mini muffins could you buy if you really liked those? Well, 3 mini muffins would be $1.05. So if we added another mini muffin to make 4, we would have $1.40. And if we added another mini muffin to make 5, we could have $1.75 for 5 muffins, with 25 cents left over. I chose this picture because of all the delicious treats, and also because it's connected to our math lesson that we're going to be doing today. Hello everyone, this is Matt Johnson again, and thanks for joining me in my home, where I'm going to show you one of the places where you use math the most, and that's the kitchen. Today we're going to be making cupcakes, and I'm going to be showing you all the ways that you use and need math to make delicious cupcakes. So let's get started. The first thing we need is a cake mix. We're choosing yellow cake today. Now, spin the box around the back and you'll see the math is really evident. So, we will need 1 cup of water. That's a measurement. A half cup of vegetable oil and 3 eggs. Then there's lots of other directions down here. It says we want to heat our oven to 350 degrees for shiny metal or glass pan, or 325 for a dark non-stick pan. Well, we have a dark non-stick pan, so we're going to set our oven to 325. That's the temperature, the measure of heat that's going to be in the oven. And heat is a measure of the heat energy, or the temperature is the measure of the heat energy in the oven. And heat energy is really just the measure of the vibrations of all the molecules that you'll find in the oven. Great, we'll let that heat up and mix up our cake mix. Alright, so we did step 1, and we're heating up our oven, as you can see, to 325. Next, step 2. Notice they have these in a nice order. Again, that helps. Math is helping us keep track of what we're doing. So we're going to take the cake mix, water and oil, and the eggs, mix in a large bowl on medium speed or beat. So if you have a mixer, otherwise you can use just a whisk. Beat vigorously or by hand for 2 minutes, and then pour into a pan. But instead of pouring into the pan, we're going to pour it into individual cupcake cups. So again, we're using time and mathematics to make sure that this cake mix comes out just right. This is our measuring cup. It helps us measure out precise amounts so that we have the correct amount of water or oil to make sure that the cake comes out just right. Let's measure our water. Remember, we need to put in 1 cup. Perfect. Now we need to measure our oil. The oil, we only needed 1/2 of a cup. So we can see our 1/2 cup right there, and you can see it's about halfway between the bottom and the top. Perfect. Now, some cooks will say, "Oh, I don't measure," because they're so good at math, they can measure in their head without having to use tools like measuring cups. Remember, we needed to mix all of the ingredients for 2 minutes. So I'm going to set the kitchen timer for 2 minutes so that I know the exact amount of time we need to mix our mix. That other beeping sound you heard means that the temperature in the oven has reached 325. There's our time. Now, since we have raw eggs in here, we cannot lick the beaters. So we'll just let the rest of the stuff drip off, and then we'll start pouring out our cupcakes. Now for step 3. It says bake as directed in chart or until toothpick inserted in center comes out clean. Cool 10 minutes before removing from the pan. Cool completely before frosting. And here's our chart down here. A chart is another way that we organize our math ideas. And you can see in this chart we have our pan size on top, where we have measurements. And we can see that cupcakes are all the way over here to the end. It says makes 24 cupcakes. So all of our ingredients are going to be divided into 24 individual cupcakes. And then underneath it has bake time. And we see it's 12 to 17 minutes. Oh, but I didn't see these directions earlier. It says heat oven to 375 for the shiny metal pan, or 350 for a dark nonstick pan. So I need to increase the oven temperature 25 degrees. Did you see it increased every time by 5? So that was just counting by 5 to add 25 to that temperature. Now it's time for some division. Let's take this cake mix and divide it into our cupcakes. Now it says it should make 24, but I'm not sure how much or how many ounces go into each one of these cups. So I'm just going to have to estimate. And estimating is a very important skill when you're dealing with math, especially in the kitchen, because sometimes you don't know for sure. You just have to use your ability to do math in your head. Okay, let's get these into the oven. The box said 12 to 17 minutes in the oven. So I'm going to set the kitchen timer to 12 minutes. That way I can check on them to see how well they're doing after 12 minutes. If they need more time, I can allow them to stay in the oven longer. But I don't want them to burn. While the first batch is cooking, I'm going to set up the next pan so I can cook the rest, because I had 12 in my first pan. And this is just like an array. We have 3 on one side and 4 on the top. So we have 4 groups of 3 or 3 groups of 4. And that's similar to a multiplication problem. If we have 3 times 4, that's 12. And that's right, we have 12 spots in each one of these pans. So with 24, we should fill up the rest of these if I measured correctly. Let's see how I did. Oh, I'm getting right down to it. I don't know if I measured correctly. I might not have enough. I think I only have enough for one more. So I just measured out 23. So what that means is I made the cupcakes a little too big because I didn't have enough to make that last number 24. That's all right though, because again, we're still going to have cupcakes. Unfortunately, I have 4 people in my family. So 24 divided by 4 makes a nice equal number, because 6 goes into 24 4 times. So what number could go into 23 equally? So if 6 goes into 24 4 times, let's see if 5 could go into 23 4 times. Well, 5 times 4, that would be 20. So we would have a remainder of 3 cupcakes. So it wouldn't go in equally, but each one of my family members can still get 5 cupcakes. Oh, that timer means 12 minutes have passed. Let's see if our cupcakes are done. Remember, they said to test to see if they're done, use a toothpick and poke them in, and if it comes out clean, that means they're ready. So I see a little bit of cupcake mix on this toothpick, so I'm going to let them cook for about 1 more minute. We're going to be using buttercream frosting today, but with the yellow cake and a beige color or buttercream frosting, that's kind of boring. So let's spice it up with some food coloring. Now I've chosen green here. So we can add some food coloring to our frosting, and that'll give us a nice, great green color for the top. So we unscrew our cap here. And this has math in it too. If we have 1 drop, let's see how green it turns it. Oh, there's a little bit more than I wanted. So, can you see it turning green? That's not very green though. I think we need to use more. A cool trick I learned with frosting is you can put it in a little plastic baggie and then cut out the corner, and then you can squeeze it out, kind of like a tube of toothpaste, right on top of your cupcakes, and that saves you from having to use a knife or blobbing it on with a spoon. So that's what we're going to do today. So I took the cupcakes out of the pan to help them cool faster. And I've got my frosting in the bag here, my green frosting. So I'm just going to cut this little corner, and then I can just drizzle the frosting right onto the cupcakes. Make sure you cut a small piece out of the corner. You can always make it bigger, but again, once you cut it off, you can't add it on. Remember, your assignment for this week is to cook something and then take a picture of what you made. Be sure you use a recipe and think about all the math you're doing while you're making that delicious food. Share that picture with me at the email johnsonma@kalamazoopublicschools.net, and that'll be shown on the screen in just a second. And we'll send you a fun math game or a math book. And thanks for participating. We'll send you a fun math game or a book for participating. And so send that to the email johnsonma@kalamazoopublicschools.net, and we'll send you a fun math prize. Thanks for participating, and good luck. So all I have left to do is frost these, and then we'll have 23 wonderful cupcakes that'll be ready to eat and share with my family. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to divide equally, so I'm going to solve that problem right now. What a delicious way to do mathematics.